Hello, friends. My name is Kenny Connolly. I'm the next generation pastor at the Ridge Community Church in Blue Ridge, Georgia. And today is day 50 of the 90-day volunteer recruiting challenge. This is the challenge where I'm attempting to recruit 50 new volunteers over the course of 90 days. Today is Monday, and so generally we try to do an update. Where are we? What work have we done from last week to this week? And this is maybe one of the first weeks where I've got nothing to show for. We actually I haven't added anybody new to the recruiting list in the last 7 days. So I know that there will be more people popping up on the list this next week. There's a couple of reasons where I think that probably happens, why this happened this week. Number one, we're only about 2 weeks away from moving into our new facility. So I've been a little preoccupied and distracted and busy on a lot of other things. And so that has definitely played into it. So I've not spent the number of hours that I should be spending on volunteer recruiting. So that's definitely been an impact. Secondly, it's just the way it falls. I have a volunteer orientation on the second and fourth Sunday of every month. And this last month had a fifth Sunday. So there wasn't, it's been over 2 weeks since our last volunteer orientation, which I think has also contributed to the lack of people showing up. Because oftentimes at a volunteer orientation, somebody shows up that I wasn't expecting and the list grows by a couple people. And sometimes people register for volunteer orientation and I haven't added them to the list until the orientation happens. So I do expect that for the report next week, we should see a nice, juicy little bump. But this week, nothing. So doesn't mean things aren't still in process and things aren't working. I'm still very excited. I think we're still, based on where we were last week, about 39 weekly volunteers. That's kind of the net of where we are on my list. But of the likely ones, I think we're closer to 32. Just also to know this, I probably between this week and next week, I'm going to be doing an edit to my list because there are 2 or 3 people that I added to my list over the course of the last 50 days that they're not taking any steps forward. I'm going to go ahead and remove them so I have an honest count of where we're at. It's probably just 2 or 3 people that I know of for sure. Actually, it's more than that. It's probably closer to 6 or 7 people that I know for sure. They're not. Maybe they'll surprise me, and maybe in the next 3 to 6 months they will come back around or they'll take a step, but they're not going to by the time this challenge is over. I've also had a couple volunteers step down. And when I say a couple, it's really just a couple, maybe 2 or maybe 3 most. And I'll be doing an update on that as well. And you just have to know, anytime you're doing a volunteer recruiting challenge that takes 2 to 3 months in time, you're going to lose volunteers in the process. It's the natural state of the life of a volunteer. So if anything, I didn't take a step forward, I took a step backwards this week. But it's okay. There are ups and downs, and overall, we have seen amazing success in the last 50 days. So in the coming days and weeks, you'll see a more realistic, as we get closer to the end of the challenge, we're gonna see a more realistic number of how many people we've actually recruited, how many volunteers have actually started volunteering. And I'm really excited about that. So stay tuned until next week, where I give an honest look of where we're actually at.